Hey, it's me, your boy Blue Gex again, and I'll be talking about a few cards. These are singular cards for singular pieces of support for existing archetypes. And normally I don't do this, but I'd rather talk about these three cards in succession than to try to get in a few more duels with archetypes like Abyss Actors and Black Rose. Because that was painful. Anyways, first off, we have Digital Bug Registrator. Digital bugs need a whole lot of support. This card is really good for digital bugs, but I would have preferred that they got 5 cards. Anyways, this card is level 3. Is a level 3 digital bug monster with 1000 attack and 1000 defense. When you normal summon, it's a when effect, not an if effect. Anyways, when you normal summon a level 3 insect monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. Then you can make the levels of this card and that monster become 5 or 7. Meaning that you can immediately go into your bigger digital bug exceeds monsters without actually having to detach two materials, which honestly really sucked with the deck. Really sucked with the deck. Also, it gets itself out pretty easily. Anyways, if this card is special summoned from your hand, you can change the battle position of one insect monster you control so you can trigger most of the digital bug effects. Also, and its last effect, an exceeds monster that was summoned using this card's material gains 1000 attack and defense. So you can essentially make the the rank 7 with ease and give it 3600 attack. This card is really good. If only Digital Bugs got like several other cards that are just as good as this one. Because Digital Bugs are straight trash. And if you've seen my Yu-Gi-Oh! Tier analysis on them, you'd know how trash they are. It desperately need the help, but this card is very great. Next, we have the new Constellar card, which is pretty amazing. I might actually try to record Constellars and Evil Swarms sometime. This card is Constellar Caduceus. If you control a Constellar monster other than Constellar Caduceus, you can special summon this card from your hand. During your main phase, you can add one Constellar spell/trap from your deck to your hand, which is already really good, especially considering this card makes itself a body. And you can potentially search that one continuous Constellar card that allows you to draw every time you exceed, or something else. And the last effect, if a Constellar exceeds monster that has this card as material gains this effect. If this card battles a light or dark monster, obviously for lore reasons, before damage calculation, you can banish that monster, which is pretty good since light and dark are very prevalent attributes in the game. Needless to say, this card is ridiculously good, and yeah, this card probably puts Constellars up a tier, because not only is it a free summon, but it also allows you to search. And lastly, let's talk about the new Skull Serving card, White Baking. And the funny thing is, I actually did a Yu-Gi-Oh! Tier analysis on Skull Servants, and one of their weaknesses being that they have poor protection. This card actually alleviates some of those issues, as well as as well as gives this deck a bit more consistency at the same time. The first effect, obviously, this card is treated as Skull Servant while in the graveyard. Second effect, if a level 3 or lower zombie monster you control would be destroyed by a battle or card effect, you can discard this card instead. Excuse me. And it's not an activated effect, since, it says it has this there. And lastly, if this card is sent to the graveyard, meaning sent to the graveyard off of its second effect, you can actually add up to two of those. You can add up to two of these monsters with different names from your deck to your hand, then discard one card. You can add a Skull Servant, which you're most likely not going to do, and then you can add a monster that specifically lists Skull Servant. But it says two with different names, and the cool thing about it is you can actually add another one of white baking, and then you can add a white prince from your deck to your hand. And what you can do with that is you can discard it after you finish adding it, and then you can activate White Prince's effect to send White Lady in White, and you can send I think a Skull Servant from your deck to the graveyard. So that's pretty nice. Basically, this card fixes some of the issues with Skull Servants, as well as makes the deck a little bit more consistent. This is also a very, very neat card. But just like with Digital Bugs, I wish they got a little bit more. Anyways, tell me what you got. Oh yeah, one last thing I want to mention, and I know I commented this under DPYGO's video, but why does this thing look like it was designed by the same people who designed the Goosebumps books? Either way, it just fills me with a lot of nostalgia, and I like the artistic choice. The artist made with this. Anyways, it's me, your boy Blue Getsuga, and I still need some water.